You are standing in line for coffee. Your phone buzzes. The message says your money might be at risk, and it wants you to act right now. That little jolt is the whole trap, because it's trying to beat your thinking before you can even finish your order. Scammers often pretend to be from a place you already know, and the name or number on your screen can be faked. They also lean hard on pressure, so the message feels less like a scam and more like an emergency. And bank-style impersonation texts have been a huge problem, so this is not some weird one-in-a-million thing. The key thing to notice is this. A real alert can be a reason to check independently. It's not a reason to trust the link, number, or payment path inside the message. That's the trick. It wants your reaction to happen before your verification does. So when the phone buzzes in the coffee line, the safe move is to slow the moment down, not follow the message's shortcut. This works because the fake message borrows the shape of a real warning. A real bank alert is supposed to feel urgent. People are taught to pay attention when money may be in danger. So when a text sounds intense, your brain may treat it like a helpful heads-up before you have had time to question it. Scammers use that. They can make the sender look familiar, even when it's not. Then they pile on pressure, so you feel like you need to move before you can check the story. That's the whole setup. It's built to feel responsible, not suspicious. The safer rule is simple. Treat the alert as a reason to verify on your own, not as permission to use the contact path inside the message. If the message is real, you can still confirm it outside the text. If it's fake, you've just avoided handing the scammer the steering wheel. The next step is where the scam usually gets more specific, and that's where people can get pulled in fast. Now, the message tries to hand you a shortcut. It may give you a link, a number, or some other quick way to fix the problem. That is the doorway. If you use the path inside the message, you are no longer checking the alert on your own terms. You are using the route the scammer put in front of you. That path is designed to look easy, and easy can feel safe when you are already worried. But the message itself is the danger here, not just the words in it. It can steer you away from the bank app or trusted contact method you would normally use. Once that happens, the scammer is counting on you to keep going without stopping to compare notes. The cleaner move is to ignore the built-in shortcut and verify through a trusted website or a known phone number instead. If a message from a company seems real, do not let the message choose how you respond. The scam wants your next tap to feel automatic. That is exactly why the next tap matters so much. The same trick works on a call. The name on caller ID can look familiar, even if the number is fake. So the display alone does not mean much. It can be dressed up to look official, while saying nothing reliable at all. That is why scammers like the phone so much. It gives them a way to sound urgent in real time. They do not need a perfect script. They just need you to hear something that feels important enough to stop you from checking the details. Once you are rushed, the scam feels more believable than it should. The safer move is not to trust the label on the screen. If the call claims to be about your money, step back and verify outside the call. The call itself is not proof. It is just the costume. And the more the voice pushes you to act right away, the more you should treat it like a warning sign instead of a rescue. That's the pattern. Familiar looking, fast moving, and just convincing enough to make your brain want to cooperate. The trick only works if you let the urgency make the decisions for you. Here is the really nasty part. Some of these messages do not start by asking for a password or card number. They start by telling you to move money somewhere else to keep it safe. That sounds helpful for a second, which is exactly why it lands. The fake message creates fear, then offers a solution. And that solution usually points to a payment method or transfer path that is hard to reverse. That is not a coincidence. It's the setup. The pressure is there to keep you from pausing long enough to realize the safe move is actually the scammer's move. This is why the warning sign is not just the scary alert. It's the combination of urgency plus a specific way to pay or move money. If the message is trying to direct your money before you have checked anything, that is the part to distrust. The clean rule is still the same. Verify independently, outside the message, before you touch any link, number, or transfer instruction. A real alert can tell you to pay attention. It should not be telling you where to send anything. That is the line the scam is trying to blur. At this point, the scam usually speeds up on purpose. That racing feeling is not random. It is there so you don't stop to check the story with anyone else. The message wants to win the moment before your judgment has time to catch up. That's why rushed language is such a big clue. When a text or call sounds like it cannot wait, it's trying to push you into acting inside the scammer's timeline. The whole point is to make you feel like hesitation would be careless. But hesitation is exactly what protects you here. The other thing to remember is that these messages often look normal at first. They can sound like a bank warning, a login alert, or some other routine security message. That normal-looking surface is part of the trick. It lets the pressure sneak in while your guard is still down. So when the message starts demanding fast action, that's your cue to slow down, not speed up. The safer move is to step out of the message and check through a trusted route. The scam counts on you treating urgency like proof. It's not proof. So what do you do instead? You separate the alert from the path the message gives you. If the text says your bank needs you, do not use the number or link in the text. That is the trapdoor, and it is built to look like the fastest route to safety. The safer move is to verify on your own. Open the bank app you already trust, or go to the company through a known website or number you already have. If the message was real, you will still find out. If it was fake, you have just avoided taking directions from the scammer. This matters because the scam works by sounding like help. It wants you to feel like responding quickly is the responsible thing to do. But real protection does not require you to trust a random link in a surprise message. It requires you to check outside it. That is the boring step, and it is the one that keeps you out of trouble. So the move is simple. Verify first, then act. Do not let the message decide where the conversation goes. One reason this keeps working is that it feels too normal to suspect. Real bank alerts happen. Texts about security happen. So when a fake one shows up, it can blend into everyday life and catch you in a moment when you are not expecting a fight. The scam is usually built out of a few simple pieces. It borrows a familiar name, adds pressure, and then gives you a shortcut that looks useful. That shortcut can be a link, a number, or a move money instruction. None of those things become trustworthy just because the message sounds serious. And that's why people get pulled in. The fake alert does not have to be dramatic. It only has to feel believable long enough to get you moving. The moment you start reacting inside the message, the scam starts winning. So the real test is not whether the alert sounds urgent. Of course it does. The test is whether it tries to redirect you away from your own trusted way of checking. If it does, that's the part to stop and question. The message can be loud and still be wrong. If you already clicked or called, do not keep following the same path. Stop using the contact info from the message and switch to a trusted one instead. That matters because the fake route is built to keep you inside the scam. What happens next depends on what you shared or where you were sent. Sometimes the damage is small. Sometimes it is messier. The point is not to guess which one it is while you're still inside the bad path. The point is to get out of it and check what happened from a safer starting place. If money was moved, or if you entered anything sensitive, treat that as a serious moment and verify quickly through a route you already trust. The scam often counts on people feeling embarrassed or confused enough to keep responding inside the fake setup. Do not give it that extra momentum. The rule stays the same even after a mistake. Stop using the message's instructions and verify independently. That is the fastest way to take control back. The scam wants you to keep obeying the message. Here is the ugly trick at the center of it all. The message sounds helpful because help gets attention. The number sounds official because official things get trust. The pressure sounds urgent because urgency can shut down second thoughts. And the money move sounds protective because nobody wants to lose cash. That's what makes this scam so effective. It does not arrive looking like a cartoon thief. It arrives looking like a warning you should respect. Then it tries to steer you toward its own route. That's the part to watch for. Not just the fear, but what the fear is asking you to do next. If the message wants you to click, call, or move money through its own instructions, that's the trap. The safer response is to step out of the message and check through a trusted website or known phone number instead. A real alert can still be useful once you verify it. The message itself does not get to decide that for you. That's the whole game. Borrowed trust, rushed action, and a path that is not yours. Break the chain, and the scam loses its power. So, the bottom line is pretty simple. A real alert may be worth paying attention to, but the message itself is not the place to obey. If a text or call makes you feel rushed and gives you a specific link, number, or money route, treat that as the moment to slow down and verify separately. Scammers often pretend to be from a place you know. They can make the displayed name or number look real when it is not, and they lean on pressure before you can check the story. They also often push specific hard-to-reverse payment methods. That combo is the tell. Urgency plus a guided path. The important part is not to let the message choose how you respond. If the alert is real, you can confirm it through a trusted website or known phone number. If the alert is fake, the shortcut is the trap. So the clean rule is, check outside the message before you trust anything inside it. That one pause can save you from the whole setup. That is the trick. Not a giant obvious fake, just a very convincing rush toward the wrong door. A bank-style alert can feel protective because people are trained to react fast when money might be at risk. That's exactly why the scam works so well. It borrows the shape of normal safety and points you toward the scammer's path. The safest habit is to check independently through a trusted website or known phone number. If the alert is real, you will still find it. If it's fake, you have stopped it before it could steer you. If this helped, like the video and subscribe to Stick News so the next scam, ripoff, or cyber trap can show up in your feed before it shows up on your phone. And tell me this in the comments. If a bank alert said your money was at risk, would you open the bank app yourself or call the number in the text?